Welcome to the Actor's Side. Today we have the great Laurie Metcalf. Thanks, Laurie. Extraordinary, nominated for Best Picture. Greta, one of 5 people of women ever to be nominated for a director.
I'm so happy for her and so proud of her, and she deserves both those nominations that she got, and also she deserves it for the best, movie, for the fact that the movie is in that category also. She just did an extraordinary job.
And it's a true story about mothers and daughters, I think. When you look at that, your character, maybe in other hands, maybe if it was written a little bit differently, could be one-dimensional and sort of villain-like, we don't like her, but you totally understand her.
Yeah, well, that's Greta's doing, again, because it was all on the page.
Yeah.
When she and I first talked, had an initial conversation about the film, I had responded to the material, obviously, and saw that the clashes between the mother and daughter were written so realistically, because I was living that at the time in my own home.
Oh.
But what I also loved that she did was drop in these little moments of heart, so that you saw that, this mother and daughter complex relationship hasn't always been functioning in this manner and won't always be. They will come out of it, and in a way that relationship is sort of inevitable. They've got to go through this traumatic time period that seems like many of us do and have. We've been through it ourselves, as trying to rebel and break free and get away from everything that we know, and the people that raised us, and the people who know us too well. Just get out and try and have a new beginning. And then we've also maybe raised kids that are of that age and been on the other side of that struggle.
And you bring that to this role as well. And I think of 2 scenes in this movie, one at the beginning and one at the end with you.
In cars. Both in cars.
Both in cars, which is interesting.
And both shot in Sacramento, and both shot towards the end of the shooting schedule.
Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so which was a good thing, I think, because we had built up these relationships within the family, and relationships with Greta, and how she would want to shoot these scenes. One of my favorite scenes is that opening scene in the car, because
were you really driving that? Or?
I was not really driving, so we were being pulled in that scene. So that was one less thing that I had to think about. But the fun part of that scene was getting it up to speed, up to the pace where we could step on each other's lines and make it look sloppy and improvisational, which it wasn't. Greta wrote every single word of it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it had humor in it, and it had drama, and it just set the tone for the whole movie in such a clever way.
Yeah,
it was so fun to work on.
And then when she goes out of the car, you just like your look.
It was terrifying when I saw it. The 5 times that we did it, or however many that we did it. We are really traveling at a speed, at a clip, but there's a platform built out, extended from the car that she had to roll off onto. And but my point of view, it was terrifying to look at.
You should just go to City College. With your work ethic, just go to City College and then to jail and then back to City College, and then maybe you'd learn to pull yourself up and not expect everybody to do everything.
And I thought the scene towards the end where the camera is just on you and just sort of driving around was so heartbreaking, actually, to watch.
Yes, I guess you're watching, somebody with a lot of regrets, but a wall's been put up, and she has second thoughts and just makes that turn, decides to go back, and is it going to be too late?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hard scene to do on the day, just because it was so intense, and there was a lot of other technical things going on, because I was really driving that time, and but the camera's right on the hood of the car, and I couldn't see around it, and police cars on either side, trying to not let us get cut off in traffic.
Now, you mentioned Roseanne coming back. That's got to be surreal walking onto that set.
That's the word, surreal. That, I'd always been hoping for a possible reunion show.
Yeah.
Since it left the air 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But I'd sort of given up hope until Sarah Gilbert called and said, "Would you be interested?" And everybody jumped at the chance.
Yeah.
And
even John Goodman, who died in the first series.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah. We all wanted to come back, and the fact that they ordered 9 and it has a little arc to it was absolutely perfect. But to walk onto the set was shocking and sort of disturbing because, you know, so many years had gone by, but it felt like no years. It felt like a hiatus week had happened, and we were just coming back to start season 10.
Wow.
So just to glance around the set, which they recreated perfectly, was weird enough. And then to see, you know, how the age differences in the kids, which is where you really see, you know, big changes from Michael Fishman's character going from when we started as a 6-year-old, you know, to now having grown kids of his own. And then when we sat down around the table for the read, it just felt so natural and comfortable. And I tell you, it was fascinating that you can cast actors as a family.
Right.
And, you know, and you become a little ensemble, which we did. But then to revisit it all those years later and watch scenes between, say, the 2 daughters who are now in their 40s,
Right.
but have a almost 30-year history together.
Yeah.
So that you can't really recreate. You can't you can't manufacture that.
Exactly.
So is watching sisters who really did grow up sort of as sisters, and now at this age in the same living room that we know that family from,
Oh my
having
God.
an argument. It just was so multi-layered.
That series always had unique authenticity to
Yeah.
it. And so what you're talking about here seems like it fits right in with that.
And I think that series also, because it dealt about issues that Roseanne cared about or was living through in her real life at the time and wanted to address, it always was able to carry some weight. Whereas other sitcoms, I think, if it went into certain territories like that, you would find very jarring.
Yeah.
But she laid the groundwork that Roseanne could sacrifice laughs in some episodes and really be about a very you know, non-comedic issue.
Is this dealing with the Trump world and everything like
Well,
that now?
we had to. Because how can you not? How can you avoid it? Because you've plucked the Connor family, who everybody knows, or a lot of people know, and placed them down in 2018. So it does in the first episode deal with it a little bit, but again, like all the episodes used to be, they're at the core, it's about the family. So even though the election has caused a rift in the family, then they boil it down to what really was bothering the 2 sisters as they voted, you know, in opposite ways.
So interesting, you won 3 Emmys for the role of Jackie, and among numerous nominations for so much. You've done so much television work, but your first love has got to be theater.
Yes,
it
is.
It is, right?
Yeah,
and I saw you in New York in A Doll's House Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
That was an amazing role, and you've done such amazing theater work, but that's something you always go back to, right?
Yeah, I do. Maybe it's because I came up in theater, but it's where I feel most at home.
Steppenwolf, right?
Yes, Steppenwolf, and I feel most, that's my comfort zone, is doing theater. And then it was a big learning curve stepping into TV.
Yeah.
Roseanne was the first TV I ever did. And then film, you know, I haven't done that many films, so I'm still learning.
I heard something like you said you're trying to get the relationship with the camera. That was a tough thing for you.
I have a camera phobia.
Yeah.
So I'll never have a relationship with a camera. I envy those actors who know, who feel comfortable with a camera in a scene, and know exactly how to work the camera, I guess. I don't think I'll ever learn that or get over the the fear of having it in the even all those years on Roseanne, where every Friday we would have 4 cameras pointed at us.
Right.
But Friday to me was like a stressful day.
Wow.
Versus the rehearsal days where I felt more free. So I'm always more guarded, a little more self-conscious with a camera. Like I said, I'd love to get past that, but at this point, I don't think it's going to happen.
I heard something interesting about you too in terms of theater, that you run your lines for the whole play before every single performance you do.
Yeah.
Which seems like, I haven't heard of actors say that they do that for the entire run.
No, maybe again, there's something that I wish I didn't have to do. I think now it's just superstitious.
Yeah.
You know, because halfway through a run, I don't really have to do it, but I'm convinced that something bad will happen if I don't do it.
Yeah.
But no, it is though a great vocal warm-up, mental warm-up. So usually I go down on the set obviously before the house opens and there's nobody there, and it's a lonely thing to do.
It's incredible.
And I don't enjoy it, but it's just part of what I feel like I need to get up to speed.
Do you learn new things through the run of a show? Like, for instance,
Yeah.
Doll's House, as it progressed?
Yes, always. Having the audience there is a huge piece of the puzzle when you're working on something. And so when you get to previews, it's an exhilarating time because the audience is teaching you what you've done right and wrong so far in the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
But even during the run, it's always a learning process from show to show.
You know, because you were in it, I really wanted to see it, but my wife really wanted to see, when we went to New York, she wanted to see A Doll's House Part 2, and I kept thinking, A Doll's House Part 2? I'm not so sure.
I know. I think the title alone kept a lot of people away because when I looked at the title, when it was sent to me, I thought, all right, this has either got to be horribly stodgy and pretentious,
Right.
or it's got to be very tongue-in-cheek and kind of ballsy, which is what it was.
That's so great.
Had so much humor.
I mean, the
humor
most
in it.
entertaining show, and
it's always so fun to go to something that you know nothing about. You know, it was a premiere. Yeah. Scott Rudin just read the unfinished script and thought, this can go straight to Broadway with no tryout or anything. I don't know how he did it, but it really did work.
Wow. And now you're in rehearsals, and I cannot wait to see this one, which I'm definitely going to see, Three Tall Women, Edward Albee's great play, with Glenda Jackson.
I know.
Wow, she has not appeared on Broadway in 25 years, I guess.
Well, yes, she's been a member of Parliament
for
right? a couple of decades there. She earned her 2 Oscars and then just quit and served in the Parliament.
Astounding.
I had to be in the room with her. I wanted to see how she works.
Yeah, and how does she work?
She's like a monster.
Really?
She's like a theater machine. You know, she has a huge role in the sense of the language that her character has. She came in off book, which is pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
And she's so intelligent and so she's just perfect for this role, and we're finding our way in the room right now, which is exciting. And so we have 2 more weeks, and then we'll be in the theater.
I mean, this is an incredible time, as you said at the beginning of this interview, and you're just getting invites to all the award shows and winning and nominated Tonys. I mean, your first Tony this year, and you know, you'll probably be back at the Emmys with Roseanne and going to the Oscars. You're looking forward to that, I'll bet.
Well,
huh?
yeah. I mean, again, it's so surreal. We'll be in previews for Three Tall Women, and then scoot back here real fast for that, and then head back into previews again. So it's like what's happening? It's all blurred together. Roseanne premieres like 2 days on TV before Three Tall Women opens.
Oh my God.
It's all just this soup of like great opportunities and great material that have all just like rained down on me at the same time.
And so well deserved.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in here,
My
Jack.
pleasure. Thanks.